And that is it. No more races for another 103 days, not counting. 103 days, 103 days, 103 days. It's been 84 years. But we're back. Hello everybody and welcome back. Oh my God, we're back. The internet's best reactions, season 4, Formula 1 returns after 217 days. Oh, I can't believe we're back after thinking it was going to be 104, and it's over double. Obviously, we've been having a horrible time in the world, and I hope everybody watching is staying safe and their loved ones are also staying safe. But we have an amazing race to talk about, the Austrian Grand Prix, and I can't believe I'm stood here presenting. I've kind of forgotten how to present, so I apologise in advance for all of the, firstly, race rundowns I mess up, and secondly, just forget loads of things in the race. But we'll carry on anyway. Let's get into your reactions. God, that feels really weird to say. We're back! Before we get to lights out, I thought I would include this Formula 1 tweet as I think it's pretty apt to share the message. So F1 said, end racism. One cause, one commitment. As individuals, we choose our own way to support the cause. As a group of drivers and a wider F1 family, we are united in its goal. And it was a bit strange seeing some people kneel, some people not. But apart from that, the message is obviously clear and it's great to see. Right, let's get on with some racing now. Vroom. At Emma Nowell, I found this one quite funny, firstly for the picture and also just Ferrari fans in general going into this season. I can't believe I really waited an extra 4 months just to see Ferrari in P7 and P11. And it wasn't going particularly well, was it? However, we had a banger of a race and I'm still kind of soaking in where the Ferraris ended. But we won't get there yet, we're going to go in chronological order. So let's dive into straight away. And the lights out and away we go. And that's exactly actually what this next tweet is. At hi, my name is Izzy, and it's lights out and away we go. Chills. Just hearing Crofty, to be fair, who wasn't particularly on form this week, it has to be said. I know we do have a little bit of a go at him here and there, but he was a lot of Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris confusion, which was getting to me just slightly. But either way, the undertone of just the and then him just doing his intro piece. Yes, yes please, thank you. Next week again. It's the same race, but it's still awesome. Bottas gets away pretty well from pole with Verstappen alongside him on those medium tyres. I was thinking, to be fair, Lando Norris P3 on the softs, looking a little bit cheeky into lap 1, and he did have a go at Verstappen, but didn't get past and then just slowly started to fall away. And I was a little bit concerned that maybe the McLaren wasn't as quick in the race. But yet again, things happened, they changed, and the end result was wonderful. One of the talking points at the beginning of the race was the racing points, not the Force Injuries, Crofty. Yeah, cool. At Dave McKeegan, anyone following racing points be like? Yeah, there was so much smoke coming out of both of the cars. I can't imagine, maybe their tracing point, their Mercedes, pink Mercedes, you know, all that good stuff, is so tightly packaged maybe that they're overheating straight away. I don't know, but obviously Stroll had those issues. Perez seemed to just about manage to carry on. And a similar tweet was from at Jeffrey Nedeloff, the Racing Point cars. And that's a smoking horse. The Austrian Grand Prix was a race of attrition. It felt like it was 1960, where there were so many mechanical failures, and we ended up with 11 racers finishing, which is just ridiculous and unheard of for 2020. At F1 Adam 8, me deciding whether I want Lando or Albon on the podium. I think this was when, around the time that Verstappen retired, which was just... At that point, I was sat there and I've gone, oh, for God's sake. That's it, Mercedes 1-2, easy peasy, lemon squeeze, it's done. You know, it's done, isn't it? I mean, Verstappen's out, he was on the mediums looking pretty saucy, and then obviously he retired, which I've got a tweet for as well, right here, at Chamika__M, seeing Verstappen retire from a possibly winnable race. Fs in the chat, and there were many Fs. Although there was actually a lot of Fs. This is a completely side point, and this is exactly what I'm going to do because I've forgotten how to present. But there was that Oliver Heldens gig on YouTube where he did that gig at Zandvoort with nobody there, and everyone was spamming Fs. It was strange, and people were also saying that looked like me. So, do I look like Oliver Heldens? I think it's not a bad thing too. So, cool. Anyway, let's move on to what I was actually talking about, which is the race. Speaking of the Verstappen retirement, we had a post in from Instagram, F1 memes IG, possible win for Verstappen, engine trouble. Sad times, but Verstappen, he'll be back next week, won't he, Max? He'll be back. It's the Red Bull Ring again. Hopefully he'll have a better race, although everybody is wise to that medium strategy now. Now, I don't usually include someone twice, but I was just going through, there were so many tweets, and I kind of like on the way through the race. So if I like your tweet, then it basically means you've made it. So congratulations, you're on IBR. But at F1 Adam 8, again, sorry, Albon getting flashbacks to Brazil, seeing Hamilton behind him. This was a long time before. This was when Albon was ahead of Hamilton. And, well, that's a tweet that precedes unfortunate events, doesn't it? Oh, we'll get on to that. We'll get on to that. Now, I mentioned race of attrition, and this is where all the retirements started to kick in. We had Ricciardo as well at StarCrafter 6. Ricciardo at the moment. We didn't see him scream into his helmet, but he kind of grinded to a halt, as did so many other racers, and it was just really weird to see. And yet somehow, and this is not horrible, because Williams looked good in qualifying, and yet they didn't score points. How? At Ben_F1_, Mercedes when Verstappen retires. Obviously, I've mentioned that Max was out, but there's the how the turntables. I'm a massive fan of The Office USA, which I think a lot of people have noticed from previous seasons. But yeah, it's interesting to see that Red Bull really had some serious struggles at the Red Bull ring when we've got used to them being pretty quick over the last few years, Verstappen winning the last two. Now, this tweet actually makes me laugh. At Mitch Milners, Ferrari this afternoon. Slow and steady wins the race. And great little gif. And it genuinely was. I liked this tweet many moons before Charles was anywhere near a top 3. And genuinely, Charles Leclerc just poodling around in his second a lap slower Ferrari. It was just slow on a straight line, which we won't go into exactly why they're a second off the pace after the whole engine debacle, and now pretty much exactly the same spec of car, and they're a second slower than what they were doing before. Finds himself in P2 at the end of the race. Passion intensifies, but not a fanboy. Are you bored of that quote yet? I am. At YMusey007, no one. Absolutely no one. Vettel. Oh, Sebastian. Oh dear. Oh dear. The first race of the season, I haven't been able to work out whether he went in too quickly and then went, oh Christ, I'm going to have to go up the inside one way or another. And then he was spinning on the way, I think before he even hit signs he was spinning, or if he went for the move. If he went for the move, ridiculous, don't know why he's done that. To be fair, it's no better that he was spinning going into the corner, so, oh, goodness me. I was hoping for a resurgent Sebastian Vettel, one that would just stick a middle finger up to everybody that hated on him. But this was just, I bet this was probably something that Mattia Binotto's gone, well, this is why we didn't sign with you again. So sad, very sad to see, because I would have loved, as I say, to see Vettel giving it to Charles Leclerc, really properly going for it, because this might be his last season, but unfortunately, ended in tears. We had some weird retirements as well. Kevin Magnussen, I think he was getting overtaken by Esteban Ocon, I want to say. And Ocon made the move, then Magnussen just, whoosh, at Nicole Nina F1, describes it beautifully with that gif. Just couldn't stop. What a shame. Magnussen, Grosjean, Haas just looking so bad, aren't they? The pace. Because I think Magnussen, was it last year or the year before, had an amazing qualifying in that Haas and banged in a worldie lap. But they're just nowhere, are they? At Crashalot SCLD18, the Renault on board. Now, I think this was just kind of referring to the fact that the car audio noises were really weird in the race feed, or at least it was for me. Maybe my TV's broken. But the Ferrari as well sounded like someone had stuck a tin can on the exhaust. And I don't think it's the fact they've got a different engine as they did last year. It's just more the fact the race feed or the microphone wasn't put on properly. But either way, they didn't sound very nice. At RealCPR1234. See, I'm going through these tweets and I'm forgetting half the things that have even happened. So I apologise. I know they'll be, oh, you didn't speak about lap 21 when someone went slightly wide at turn 7. Well, did you see the race? There's 1,000 things happened. Anyway, I digress. Perez and Norris in the pit lane. I forgot that even happened. Those two nearly exploded into each other. Glad there was no sort of penalty given to Perez or Norris, well, there wouldn't have been for Lando because he was the one going down the pits. But either way, great wheel-to-wheel action, as Crofty likes to say, wheel-to-wheel. Elbows, wheel-to-wheel. And then Lando, that was crucial. Or was it? Because then Perez got back through, but then Lando got back through again. Full-on elbow. I can't believe Perez turned in on him. That was really weird, wasn't it? That was like a weird... Perez was like, oop, no, don't, no, oh. Midway through the race, I thought it was about to get pretty stale, and this was the moment. At Midwestern F1 fan, Valtteri, it's James, makes an appearance at the first race. Obviously they had that whole, oh, the car's vulnerable, the car's not able to go over the curbs, it's not able to do this or that, stop racing. And at that point I was ready to just kind of go, okay, fine, we've had a kind of interesting race, let's just chill out. Well, firstly, I'm glad Valtteri, it's James, wasn't for him to say, well, get out the way, Hamilton's quicker. God, can you imagine in the first race of the season? At Bruno Americano, lap 47, both Mercedes warned for critical gearbox issues. Albon. It's today, it's today, it's today. Oh God, this is so sad to talk about, isn't it? Let's talk about it right now. I think we've teed it up pretty nicely. Safety car, Mercedes, hard tyres, Albon, super sticky, dicky, wicky softs, the softest of compound you could possibly have dreamed of. I think actually the commentators said it weren't brand new, but they were like maybe 1 lap old. Albon is on the fastest compound of tyre. We have about 16 laps to go. My body is ready. Obviously, I'm heartbroken for Albon after what happened with Hamilton. But at the same time, you know, listening to Brundle's commentary, patience, Alex, patience. And it is true. He's round the outside. I'm thinking, it is done. It is signed, sealed, delivered. But obviously Hamilton, older tyres. He understeers slightly into him. I still think he deserved the 5 seconds 100% because it ruined Albon's race. I know people will argue that he couldn't have done much more, but watching the replay, listening it, I feel like he got on the power a little bit more. And we have to say that the stewards, as much as they have been inconsistent already this weekend with the Hamilton qualifying penalty and yes, no, maybe yes, no, I feel like they would have had enough telemetry to show that Hamilton maybe just got on the power a little bit earlier than he was expected to by the stewards. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, and if you disagree with someone else, be nice. At Elusive Craver, this one made me laugh. Mercedes, boys, stay off the curbs. Bottas. It was almost as though Hamilton was telling the teacher on Bottas, wasn't it? Like, well, you know, he's going on more curbs than I am. And then we were kind of riding on board with Hamilton. We could see Bottas just flying to Narnia on every curb and yeah, see ya, ride it. He just wants to win. He kind of threw caution to the wind. Now, I'm known for jinxing on Twitter, and I do it in commentary as well. I've done it for the F1 Virtual GP. Pretty much every time I tweet on Twitter, it just goes wrong. But this is the worst aged tweet I've ever done in my entire life. Literally just before the safety car and the collision with Alex Albon and Hamilton. This is it, Alex Albon. Redemption for Brazil. Seize the moment. Send the dive bomb. P1, let's do this. At S_Price_designs, Lewis did it to Albon again. I feel like the general consensus from you guys is, yeah, it was Hamilton's fault, and at the very least was a racing incident, but steered towards Hamilton, but more so 5-second penalty. It's not as though Hamilton went, have it, but it was bad enough that 5 seconds. I think it was fair. Another little gripe I had with this current F1 race weekend was the choice of battles. Now, I love seeing Carlos Sainz on our screens. Love it. I love a Charles Leclerc on board. But not for what felt like 1.5 to 2 laps of just Charles Leclerc on board when Hamilton and Bottas were half a second between each other. So next time, let's see the lead battle if it's half a second, okay? That should be the threshold. The Kimi Raikkonen incident was strange, wasn't it? His wheel just packed off and went, see you later, mate, we'll see you next week. To be fair, it's probably still there. You just pick it up next week. At Casnevalo, Raikkonen's tyre. I must go, my people need me. It was very strange. Okay, he's just poodling along, yeah, like, oh, that's gone. I think he kind of raised his hand as well. I don't know who he was raising his hand to, like, come on, my wheel is gone. But yeah, unfortunate for Kimi. But it's just sad to see Alfa Romeo so far off the pace. Now let's get on to it. Lando Norris. What a hero. At Rabert99, Lando jumping Hamilton for the podium place. That last lap, take a bow, Lando Norris. You absolute legend. I was sat there seeing about 5.3, 5.4 seconds, you know, oh yes, the Hamilton and the Mercedes. Obviously he's on slower tyres, more degraded tyres, but pops in the fastest lap of the race and jumps Hamilton for P3. I'm still emotional, can you tell? I genuinely screamed when he got over the line and got P3. I'm so happy for him. He's deserved it after having so much bad luck last year. Oh, am I getting passionate? No, I'm not. I'm just happy for him, okay? I can't be passionate about more than one person, can I? Or can I? I think I am. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say the quote. Well done, Lando. Yes. Social media team championship time now. We're back. We're rating the team's tweets once again. And here we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. Who's going to be in your top 3? Let's dive into it. In third position, at Williams Racing. Watching GR63 mixing it on the fringes of the top 10. To be fair, I think a lot of us were like that. And it was quite heartbreaking to see George Russell retire from a very strong, I think it was P14 at the time. He most likely would have been there or thereabouts on the points after everybody conking out. So it was a shame to see him retire, but it's nice to see the Williams just, you know, not a minute behind everybody else. They're there or thereabouts. And 1 point will go to you, Williams Racing. Congratulations. 2 points goes to Renault F1 team. Now this tweet, I read it as a little sprinkling of salt or a little bit of kind of grasping at straws here. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you will in the comments. Huge, huge congratulations to McLaren and Lando Norris. An amazing result and absolutely brilliant to see a Renault-powered car on the first podium of 2020. Are they trying to get some sort of, like, yep, some of that was us. Give us some commendation, some credit. I like it either way. A little bit of salt, a little bit of sprinkling, a little bit of seasoning. And finally, the winners of the first Social Media Team Championship for 2020. It's the reigning champions. They're back once again with the sweet tings. It is Racing Point F1, or BW Racing Point Formula 1 team. They were applying to the first podium of 2020. The floor is lava. Simple yet effective. Not a huge amount of banter overall this weekend from the Formula 1 teams, but maybe they forgot that Internet's Best Reactions is coming back. They'll be, for the Styrian Grand Prix, they will be on it. I guarantee it. If not, tell them. Reply to them and say either great tweets or do better. Okay, cool. That's 1 point for Williams F1 Racing, 2 points for Renault F1 team, and 3 points for BWT Racing Point Formula 1 team. There you go, smashed it.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Oh God, Race Rundown. Yeah, we're back once again. I haven't done this, I don't practice this. I don't know if anyone even thinks I do with the amount of mistakes I make, but here we are. Race Rundown, and just for clarification, I don't know what's on the green screen during that Race Rundown little intro, so hope you enjoyed whatever was behind me at that time. The finishers of the Austrian Grand Prix were, actually there's not actually that many, because when I look at it, only 11 people finished. So this is beautifully split up for me. It's almost like Formula 1 and the teams did this for me, thank you. Here we go. Bottas, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Gasly, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Latifi. I think that's all right. I'm getting carried away now, aren't I? I'm going to try it one more time. Bottas, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Gasly, Ocon, Giovinazzi. Nah. Bottas, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Gasly, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Vettel, Latifi. Yeah, Boomtown. Yeah, he's still got it because there's only 11 finishers. So it's quite easy, actually. And the non-finishers were Kvyat, Albon, Raikkonen, Russell. Ooh, there's a lot of non-finishers. Kvyat, Albon, Raikkonen, Russell. Oh, there's a lot of long names. Long names. The non-finishers were Kvyat, Albon, Raikkonen, Russell. Kvyat, Albon, Raikkonen, Russell. Grosjean, Magnussen, Stroll, Ricciardo, Verstappen. Boomtown. Nice. See you later, Race Rundown. See you next week.
Who has won Tweet of the Week?
Welcome to Tweet of the Week, a new segment in the show where it's literally just an award for the best tweet that I have seen over the course of the race weekend. But usually the race, because that's when the bangers are. Here it is, at Troll Sports. Lando Norris after getting his first podium finish. It do be like that. It was kind of, we just saw Bottas, Leclerc, just turned to Norris with just champagne all down his face. It was brilliant. So yeah, there you go, Troll Sports. You win Tweet of the Week. Congrats. And that is it. We are finished for the internet's best reactions to the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm so happy to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know. Give us obviously a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comments, be nice to each other, please. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media and we'll pick the very best ones to be featured only next week for the Styrian Grand Prix Austria Part 2. I'm so happy to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed the start of Season 4 of the Internet's Best Reactions, and we'll see you very soon for another video. Next week, racing, lots of it.